well. He's just good at everything.
He is good at everything, but I tell you what, the swimmers are going to take this event. That's what we've seen. The people that can swim are going to handle it. All of them are going to be doing good at bar muscle-ups. So I think my personal opinion is Rich is going to have a little chasing after this particular event.
The last heat, we had our time to beat. In third place, Brian Miller with that side stroke. It worked for him.
It worked. You know what? And again, I think it was a little bit of his Invictus training with the swimming always being put in there, but that side stroke worked, and his bar muscle-ups were just solid.
In second place, the man from Australia, Brandon Swan, who was pushing for that top spot for much of the event.
You know, he's a rugby player, not necessarily a swimmer, but he battled the whole time. He fought the water, and eventually in the end of the rounds, he had the more elegant stroke. He was smooth, he was streamlined, and that's what allowed him to get up there closer to Wes.
But in first place, the man you know very well at a CrossFit Inferno, Wes Pyatt, never went to the towel.
Never went to the towel at all. That was his plan. He looked great. He never slowed down. He stayed consistent, and he stayed on his game plan, and Wes did exactly what we needed him to do, right? That was a great showing by him.
So your results of the second heat, Wes Pyatt, your current leader, as 3-4 men beat the previous mark. So your top 4 athletes, the top 4 here. Amanda Krenz is with Wes Pyatt.
Thanks, guys. Wes, nice showing on that event.
Thank you.
It was funny as we were walking over here that you said that there was a little bit of panic that sets in when you can't breathe.
Yeah, about round 6 for sure. You're like, okay, try to stay calm but keep moving. And I mean, it's one thing when you're doing a regular CrossFit workout and you like kind of control your breathing a little bit, but you got to think about it when you have to hold your breath, you know? So it's a little bit different for sure.
You know that there's a very good chance that swimming is going to be in one of the events at the CrossFit Games now. How do you plan your training accordingly?
We've been doing a lot of underwater training. So like big wave surfers, they pick up rocks and they run on the bottom of the ocean with them to kind of get that like demand underneath water. So we've been doing kind of stuff like that, where I'll take kettlebells and run with it underwater, or just kicking only and holding your breath and stuff, doing that once or twice a week. It's kind of more of a mental thing for me than it is a workout, you know, like how long can you actually sustain holding your breath and still working. So we've been doing that for the last couple of months, and that really helped.
I was just going to ask, do you feel like it paid off for you?
Oh yeah, tons, yeah. Bill Grunler is my coach, and he's the one that had me doing that stuff, and so he'd send me text messages, hey, guess what you got to do with this weight this time, or hey, guess what you got to do it for this length this time, you know, stuff that I would never do myself, so I owe it to him for sure.
Well, he's very proud of you.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Wes, so much. Nice job. All right, Sean, back to you.
Thanks, Amanda, and very happy Bill Grundler next to me. I was hoping he was going to give you some credit for that.
Well, I'll be a little proud off that. I'll be a little proud, but you know, he did train, and that's the main thing. He did spend some time underwater, and that's exactly why he was able to look good in this heat.
So plenty of veterans and plenty of guys who have stood on the podium at the CrossFit Games. Up next in this final heat, Rory McKernan has more.
Yeah, you said it, Sean. This is all about experience in this heat. Lots of big names, veterans, but even all of them were picking the brain of one man backstage, Matt Chan, the second fittest man on earth from last year. He has a background in water polo. Jason Khalipa, the champion, Rich Froning, are all asking him for advice. He's like the Jedi Master of this group. Now, there is one exception to this. The only rookie in this heat, Jordan Troyan, will be on the far side of the pool, a 4-year All-American swimmer, and this kid looked solid in the pool. So keep your eyes on those athletes. Back to you, Sean.
Jordan Troyan, the 4-year All-American swimmer out of Westchester University, when he heard about this, he was very happy.
Absolutely. How could he not be happy? This is his home turf. So, you know, it's always nice to have someone that's going to be in your wheelhouse where the champ is kind of running from you. That's got to be, that's a nice little confidence boost.
So Jordan will try to chase down Wes Pyatt, who currently holds the mark to beat at about 11:13.4. Plenty of guys in this heat who are comfortable around water. We'll have live coverage of the third and final heat for the men coming up next, but it's Wes Pyatt who currently sits atop the leaderboard. More when we return. Five different men have held the title of fittest on earth since the CrossFit Games began on the ranch in Aromas, California. Only Rich Froning has repeated. Back in 2007, James Fitzgerald beat 38 men to win the first CrossFit Games. He was one of about 60 athletes to take part in what would soon become a worldwide phenomenon. Participation in the 2008 Games was more than 4 times in the prior year. Newcomer Jason Khalipa, who is now a household name in the CrossFit community, would come out of nowhere to put himself on top of the podium. The international expansion of the CrossFit Games in 2009 led to the first European champion. Finland's Mikko Salo's consistent performance across 8 events gave him the title of fittest on earth. Having outgrown the ranch in Aromas, the CrossFit Games moved to the Home Depot Center in Carson, California in 2010. Graham Holmberg would take first overall after finishing 19th the previous year. The man who finished second to Holmberg in 2010 would get himself on top of the podium in 2011. Rich Froning turned in a dominating performance en route to being crowned the fittest on earth in front of a sold-out crowd at the Home Depot Tennis Stadium. The win earned Froning his second check for $250,000. The drive for 3 for Rich Froning begins here at the Willett Aquatic Center in Irvine, California. He is up next in the 3rd and final heat for the men as he gathers his thoughts before the men take to the floor here, and we'll get going in the first of 12 scored events. So Jason Khalifa, a man who's also been atop the podium. He did that in 2008. Not a guy who's known for his athleticism, but one of the hardest workers out there.
You know, he has improved his athleticism and his fitness every year, and I have to say that he looks better this year than he ever has. So I expect a podium shot for him for sure. I mean, he's looking great. How he's going to do in the water, I don't know, but we'll see.
Well, Matt Chan on the left of your screen, he is the 2nd place finisher from 2012 and someone who spent a lot of time in the water as not only a water polo player, but also someone who surfs, so he's very comfortable moving through.
You know he's put this stuff together before. I mean, there's without a doubt, has he spent time in the water than doing thrusters or kettlebell swings or something outside of the water. So I think that he's going to do well here for sure. He's going to definitely be one of the men to beat.
Matt Chan is not the only man in this heat to have experience in water. Jordan Troyan, you heard Rory talk about him. He's a 4-year All-American swimmer at Westchester University. Lucas Parker out of Canada West with that ginormous beard. I don't know if that's going to slow him down a little bit. Can you give a chin cap for that thing? Or?
I think he should have done that. I mean, granted, that took a long time to grow that beard, but that is drag right there without a doubt. Swimmers will shave down to cut off those few extra, seconds, but that beard is, it's an amazing, beautiful, gargantuan beard, and it's definitely going to slow him down a little bit.
Lucas Parker making his 3rd appearance here at the CrossFit Games, and he is one of the most recognizable athletes in this sport. But also in this heat, we have Josh Bridges. He's currently with the United States Navy, and then we have a former Navy SEAL in lane number 1, Zach Forrest. And that's Jordan Troyan. This is his first appearance at the Games. He was a 4-year All-American swimmer, and look for him to go out very fast here.
You know, he's also, he's been involved in a lot of lifeguard competitions, so it's not just getting in a pool and swimming, it's swimming and running and paddling and everything like that. So I think he's very well adapted for this workout, and he's got to be feeling comfortable right now, and it's a nice thing to step into your first Games and have that.
In the middle, in lane number 5, Josh Bridges. His first appearance is 2011, sat out last year. He finished 2nd to Froning in 2011, and he is one of the men that many people think might have a chance of knocking Froning from that top spot on the podium.
Again, a lot of time in the water. I mean, being with the Navy, he spends a lot of time in the water, does a lot of training in the water, and working with Invictus and with CJ, they spend a lot of time in the water, so he's going to be strong here, and the bar muscle-ups are not going to be an issue.
Right next to Josh Bridges in lane 6, Scott Panjic out of the Central East. He finished 4th at the Games in his first appearance last year and did very well at the Central East Regional, finished 2nd to Mr. Froning. Your starting grid. Lane 1, Zach Forrest, the former Navy SEAL. Josh Bridges occupies lane 5. He is currently in the Navy. Matt Chan, the 2nd place finisher from 2012 and the former water polo player, will work out of lane number 9. And then on the far end of the pool in lane 16, the 4-year All-American swimmer from Westchester University, Jordan Troyan.
It's going to be kind of crazy with him being way over on the side because the group is not going to see him. He knows how to look at everyone in the pool, but they don't know how to really look at him. So I think he's going to be kind of sneaky, and they may miss him.
So for the first time in CrossFit Games history, we are at a pool, and we are also combining swimming with another movement. 10 rounds of a 25-yard swim, 3-bar muscle-ups, and then another 25-yard swim, a 25-minute time cap. And every time you do a bar muscle up, you have to jump off the bar.
That's right. It's going to break that up. You can't have a real good consistency with that. You have to reset every single time. We didn't see it. I really thought we'd see a lot more drying of the hands. In the men's heats, I didn't see that at all. So I don't expect these guys to do it at all.
Ben Smith, one of the younger competitors. He's already a veteran, just 23 years old. He was 11th at the games last year. The third and final heat is underway. The time to beat belongs to West Piatt. It's 11 minutes, 13.4 seconds. And these are the top athletes for the men at the 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games. And in lane number 9, Matt Chan out of the water. Lane 16, Jordan Troyan as well. And Troyan going to the towel. Chan right to the bar.
You know what Jordan did right there? He actually looked to see if everyone else was going to wipe their hands, and they put the towel down real quick. So I think he's going to change up his strategy here. He knows it's a relatively long event. He's got to get through a lot of rounds, but that's definitely going to change. And that dive was the trademark of a swimmer. So you'll know a swimmer by the way they dive in the water.
He chewed up about half the pool before he came out of the water. And Troyan now in the lead. Matt Chan in second place. And then in lane 2, Kenneth Leverage also on the lead pace. So Leverage and Chan for second, and now Troyan is in first, but now it looks like Leverage may be pulling ahead of Chan. So it's a three-way battle for first between Troyan in lane 16, Chan in lane 9, and Leverage in lane 2.
You know, Kenny Leverage, he's a waterman. He spends a lot of time in the water surfing and things like that. He's a California kid. He's going to be in the water. The bar muscle-ups are not going to be a problem. So what this entire event's going to come down to is how are these guys going to swim? Are they going to go out too hard? Can their body stay streamlined the whole time? And I'll tell you what, the one person you know that will happen with is going to be Jordan Troyan over in lane 16. But Kenny looks great right now. And all of them, if they've had any kind of swimming training, there's a little dolphin kick when they dive in the water as well.
So Leverage was first into the water. Troyan right behind him, but Troyan did that dolphin kick. He was under the water for half the pool, and now he is first to make the turn ahead of Leverage. So it's Troyan in first, Leverage in second, and Matt Chan now battling Leverage for second place, and it looks like Chan now is pushing Troyan for first place.
You know, look at the distance that these three swimmer guys have pulled from the rest of the group. They are already half pool lengths away from everybody else. So you can tell who the swimmer people are and who the non-swimmer people are.
So Troyan is out, Chan is out, and now Leverage is out as they are all on round 3. The time to beat 11 minutes, 13.4 seconds belonging to West Piatt. This is the third and final heat of our first of 12 scored events here at the 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games. And Kenneth Leverage with 1 rep to go. Meanwhile, Troyan back into the water. And Matt Chan as well. So it's Troyan in the lead in lane 16. Chan right behind him, and Kenneth Leverage currently sits in third place. But now Leverage is getting some pressure from lanes 3, 4, and 5 from Chad McKay, Ben Smith, and Josh Bridges.
It's a wonder, you know, did Kenny come out a little too fast? He may have. It's hard. It's that first event. You get those jitters. You want to get going. You can see the distance that Jordan and Matt have pulled on the rest of the group right now. Both those guys, their form is just impeccable in the water. I'm wanting to see if Jordan's going to start to have any sort of an issue with his bar muscle-ups. Matt isn't having any problem.
So Chan and Troyan on the bar at the same time. So Chan can probably get through these a little faster. Troyan's losing a little ground on the bar, but when he gets in the water, that's when he's doing a ton of damage. Chan's on your left, Troyan is on your right. That's number 3 for Chan. So he's actually going to beat Troyan back to the water, but Troyan right behind him by a split second. They probably got into the water at the same time. Troyan with a running leap, and now making up that ground that he lost to Chan. He's back in front.
Now, Matt knew the history of Jordan Troyan. So what he has to do right now is think, okay, where am I going to make up my time? Where can I lose it? He knows he's going to be decent in the water, but he has to make sure he's staying solid. Wow, he just changed up to a backstroke, and I was not expecting that. What that's showing to me is that he's actually starting to like breathe a little harder. He wants to take in a little bit more air. Jordan's not going to have that issue. That may be a problem for Matt.
Chan quickly back to the freestyle. Now Troyan out of the pool, Chan out of the pool. Kenneth Leverage has fallen off the lead pace, but he still sits in third. He's trying to hold off McKay, Smith, and Josh Bridges. So Chan and Troyan back for their bar muscle-ups. Troyan on the left and Chan on the right.
Now you see Matt starting to break down. He's starting to have to throw one arm over. I think that's what's happened is he's actually starting to push a little bit too hard in the pool. He's starting to break down, not getting enough oxygen, and so he's starting to fail on the muscle-ups. He hasn't totally broke, but it's starting to look bad now, and that's what we're only halfway through this event.
So Troyan still in the lead. He's about a body length ahead of Matt Chan, who sits in lane 9. Troyan in lane 16 at the top of your screen. We approach the 5-minute mark. The time to beat, 11:13.4 seconds. We're live from the Woolen Aquatic Center in Irvine, California. I'm Sean Woodland alongside Bill Grundler. The battle for third now is being won by Kenneth Leverage in lane 2. Leverage was with Chan and Troyan at the outset of this event, but now he's fallen back, and he and Ben Smith battling for third, and it looks like Smith may have overtaken Leverage. Chad McKay in lane 3, the big Australian. He is also challenging for one of the top 3 spots. And now Ben Smith occupies third place behind Matt Chan and Jordan Troyan.
You know, again, it's just he's more consistent and smooth in the water. He's a lot more efficient. His body's staying tight. His feet aren't coming out all crazy on his kick. He's gliding on his stroke, so he's conserving that energy.
So Jordan Troyan still in the lead. The battle for third taking place on the pull-up bar. In lane 2, it's Kenneth Leverage. Next to him in lane 3 is Chad McKay. And then in lane 4, just coming off the bar and making his way back to the water, is Ben Smith, who sits in third. Now, let's not forget, the winner of every event here at the 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games gets $3,000. So there's a lot more than points on the line here.
Yeah, $3,000 isn't too shabby, you know. Being that it's becoming a professional deal here, and these athletes are becoming professional athletes, that's always nice to have. But you know what? They want this first event in the bag. They want to start off and start off their entire weekend with a nice win.
Jordan Troyan out of the water first ahead of Matt Chan, and he is on to the bar first. Took a second to dry off his hands. Chan does not. He is right on the bar. Chan on the right, throwing that one arm over. Not as smooth as Troyan on the left, as we are now through 6.5 minutes here in the third and final heat.
Now, what I will say is this. Matt is a bigger athlete, so even though he's battling through these, and he's starting to break now.
He got no rep on the one before that.
You know, and that's what you don't want to have happen. You need to have a good kip. Maybe what he needs to start doing now is actually start drying off his hands, get some chalk on his hands so we can lock onto that bar.
So Jordan Troyan already to the other end of the pool and leaving Matt Chan in his wake. Chan failing another bar muscle up, and he is falling back as Ben Smith has now taken over second place.
He needs to slow down. He needs to get some chalk on those hands. He's got to lock his hands on that bar. He's using too much energy. You can see his bottom arm is dropping every single time. That's just not what he wants to have happen right now.
So Matt Chan now trying to catch up with Ben Smith as Smith has taken over second place. Meanwhile, Jordan Troyan is already back on the pull-up bar for round 8.
Right there, Ben Smith, I want you to look at his stroke. Look at his kick. He doesn't have a real strong kick. Right there is Jordan Troyan. When we get to his stroke, it'll be impeccable. I can promise that one. Jordan not having any sort of an issue with the muscle up, and he was even talking to the refs during the time. You know, so he's not. This is well in his wheelhouse. Now he wants to do really well. I mean, look at his stroke.
And
perfect
Troyan
line.
Stayed underwater. We talked about this before the event, that guys who know what they're doing in swimming, when they dive through, they'll use that dolphin kick and stay underwater from almost more than half the pool, and we saw that right there with him.
That glide, when that streamlined pencil glide, that saves energy. You don't want to push against the water, and the swimmers understand that, the non-swimmers don't.
And even in the late rounds, he's still doing this. You would expect when he's already been through 8 rounds of this that his breath might be suffering, but he's still able to take that break and not breathe.
A 500-meter swim for a swimmer is barely the warm-up. So these guys, he's not losing his breath right now.
So Troyan back on the bar. This is round 9. The time to beat is 11:13.4, and unless Jordan Troyan suffers an epic blowout here, he is going to win this event going away.
He's absolutely, I mean, it's complete annihilation of this. If you were going to put someone in this particular event, he's the guy to see what kind of real good score you're going to get.
Ben Smith currently sits in second place. Matt Chan is in third as Chan struggled on his 8th round of bar muscle-ups and fell well behind Troyan and then surrendered even more ground to Ben Smith, who was able to take over second place as Jordan Troyan makes the turn and is back for his 10th and final round of bar muscle-ups. And Jordan Troyan looks like he's going to get himself 100 points.
Absolutely crushing it right now. I mean, again, he's swimming it perfect. He even is coming to the wall, relaxing, rolling to his back, taking a little breath. Let me have a little conversation with you as, you know, before I finish this.
Well, Troyan has actually talked to somebody in the crowd to sort of let him know where he stands, so it's good strategy. Absolutely. To have someone who can watch the rest of the field, so he doesn't need to worry about that. He's back on the bar now. Troyan with a couple more to go, and he will close out this event and pocket $3,000.
Wow, he just is absolutely handling this whole event.
Troyan back in the water.
Halfway across the pool before he even breathes. Not
going to get inside 10 minutes, but Jordan Troyan is going to open up his very first CrossFit Games with a victory. He's out of the water. He'll come across his touchpad, and Jordan Troyan with the time. As we wait for the final results.
Ben Smith right now coming in. He looks solid. He looks so good right now. Look at that. Look at that. It's so smooth. He's getting up. He's going to hop out of the pool, finish across the line. Wow, Ben Smith.
Ben Smith, a second place finish. So Jordan Troyan is your winner. $3,000 and 100 points. Matt Chan, who was in second place for a good portion of this event, just finishing up his 10th round, and Chan is trying to lock up a third place finish. So Jordan Troyan at final time of 10:06. Ben Smith next to him, 10:28. Now the race for third in lane 5. That's Josh Bridges. Bridges out of the pool, Chan out of the pool. Who gets to the touchpad first? It's going to be Bridges in third, and Chan will finish in 4th place.
Wow. Again, you know, we thought for sure Josh would be in there. He needed that, but wow, that was a great comeback on his part.
So now Josh Bridges doing himself a lot of favors here in this opening event. Chad McKay, the big Australian, is in. In lane 2, Kenneth Leverich is in. Zach Forrest in lane 1 still out there. Scott Panchik on his final round in his last swim. Graham Holmberg. Rich Froning is only on round 9. So this is exactly what Josh Bridges needed. Get a nice big cushion heading into some other events over the 2-time defending champion.
Well, again, you know, guys like Matt Chan, who was sitting second last year, he wants #1 spot, so this is the event he needed to do well in.
So Scott Panchik is in. Panchik, one of those men from the highly contested Central East region, and now Rich Froning making his way back down for his 10th and final round.
Now, I will say this. What's been classic with Rich is he always can kind of hang in that top 5. Wow, Jason Kalipa, good.
Jason
right
Kalipa
there.
is in. So Jason Kalipa glad that this event is over. Kalipa with a time of 12 minutes, 12.1 seconds. So a solid time for Jason Kalipa.
You know, right there, not a typical place we see Rich Froning, the last one out of the water. However, you can see, look at his kick. That is not an efficient kick. When he's kicking that hard like that, it's wasting a lot of energy. The better swimmers will have what's called a 2-beat kick, especially for something like this. They barely are kicking. It's just enough to keep their butt up. Everything else is all in their arms and their back.
Well, make note of this moment, everyone, because this is one of the rare times that you will see Rich Froning look somewhat mortal. Dan Bailey is in. Now Rob Forte, and now Rich Froning for his final set of 3 bar muscle-ups. Now it's Graham Holmberg making his way back down the pool. He has closed out his final set of bar muscle-ups. And Rich Froning, once again, take note of this, breathing heavily.
Last in his heat. Rich Froning last in his heat. We don't ever say that, ever. And it's an amazing. So what's going to be interesting now over the course of the rest of the weekend is how is he able to mentally handle that? He's never been in this position. He's never had a score like this. So how is he going to be able to handle it? That's what's going to be interesting.
Yeah, messing with his goggles And Rich Froning coming back in lane number 8. So remember, this is just the first of 12 scored events, and Froning can make up plenty of ground as we continue through the Reebok 2013 CrossFit Games. Meanwhile, Lucas Parker is hunched over in lane number 14 as he is struggling. He's only on round 9 here.
I'm telling you, it's the beard. I'm telling you, it's the beard.
That thing will weigh you down. That clearly did not shave. He would needed a team to do that, I think. A NASCAR pit crew, probably.
Wow. You know what? He looks better with like a lumberjack axe in his hand, I think, than swim goggles. Yes. But you know what? Again, this is what fitness is all about. We need to test everything. You need to be good at everything to be the fittest. I think for sure after he comes back after this year, this is going to be something he's going to throw into his regular training so that this will never be in this situation again.
There's a 25-minute time cap here. Lucas not in danger yet of hitting that. We still have 10 minutes to go on the 25-minute time cap. But Lucas Parker, the only man left in the pool. His fellow competitors have moved their way down to that end. And they're going to cheer Lucas on. He has to make his way back down the pool, 3 more bar muscle ups, and then back to close out his event. But the winner, Jordan Troyan, 10 minutes, 6 seconds flat.
That was absolutely incredible. He dominated this event, dominated it.
Lucas Parker back to start round 10. And Lucas Parker's a man that had a plan on how he was going to move his way up the leaderboard every year at the CrossFit Games, and so far he's been holding to that.
You know,
Lucas Parker was 26 in 2011, and last year he finished 15th.
He had a 5-year plan, and I think as a young athlete, that's a pretty mature way to look at it. I mean, it wasn't like, I'm going to win this year. He had a set plan of what he wanted to do. He's a very analytical guy, and it will be interesting to see if it is right on task with everything that he wants to do.
In every athlete meeting that we're able to attend, Lucas Parker always has 5 or 6 different questions that he asks. He's very thorough, like you said. He wants to know everything about the conditions. He wanted to know what the facility here was like, if it had a roof on it, what the floor was like underneath the bar. So he wants to know all the different variables that he's going to face when he gets into an event. And now the final swim for Lucas Parker as he gets himself out of the pool after this, and then we'll close out his event. And the first event of the 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games will be in the books. Parker out of the pool, and he is done. So everybody finishing inside the 25-minute time cap in this final heat. But the event belongs to Jordan Troyan. 10 minutes, 6 seconds for Troyan, 100 points for him, and $3,000. Ben Smith, who overtook Matt Chan beyond the halfway point of the event, he finishes in 2nd place, and then Josh Bridges, making his return to the CrossFit Games, finishes in 3rd place.
In heat number 3, event number 1.
Last time Bridges was here in Southern California at the CrossFit Games, he finished 2nd, and still plenty left, plenty of competition left.
You know,
but this sets up very well for him.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But I'll tell you what, like the top 3, that was exactly, except for Ben Smith, I did not see him in there at all. I wasn't expecting that, but Jordan, we knew that was going to be there. Josh Bridges, we knew was going to be obviously a strong competitor with that. Ben Smith, that was some strong work right there.
Yeah, Ben Smith was a guy after his great finish in 2011. He showed up in 2012, and I think a lot of people expected more than they saw from him. He ended up finishing 11th overall last year, but now he's also setting himself up well, trying to carry some momentum into events 2 and 3. Those will be later today over at the StubHub Center in that half marathon row. Let's go down to Miranda Oldroyd at poolside for the official awards announcement.
The pool event. In 3rd place in the pool event with a time of 10:59, winning $1,000, Josh Bridges. Second place in the pool event with a time of 10:28, winning $2,000, Ben Smith. And your winner of the pool event, 1st place, with a time of 10:06, winning $3,000, Jordan Troyan. As of right now, these are the top 3 men in the 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games. We have only just begun.
All right, guys, we're going to get this down.
So your top 3 men after one event. Jordan Troyan with 100 points. Ben Smith with 95, and then this man, Josh Bridges with 90.
No stranger to the water by any means. And, you know, always a fighter, has a tremendous engine, and the bar muscle-ups were not going to slow him down at all.
In second place, not a guy we thought about coming into this heat, but Ben Smith starting off very well.
You know, a great swim stroke, and that's what helped him stay up there. He stayed smooth, he was consistent, he never slowed down, kept his body efficient. Again, bar muscle-ups not a problem. Great showing for him. I'm excited to see how the rest of the weekend is for him.
And finally, the man whose eyes lit up when they announced his event, Jordan Troyan, did everything right.
That right there, that showcase a swimmer.
Michael Phelps?
That was a swimmer right there. And then, you know what? Michael Phelps probably would have had a tough time beating him because the bar muscle-ups, he was great. The swimming was obviously no issue. But, yeah, you know he wanted that one.
Jordan Troyan, $3,000, 100 points. Let's go down to Amanda Krenz.
All right, thanks, guys. So he's just telling me about what body parts are on fire right now. How is the physique feeling?
Overall, it was a fun workout. Wasn't really out of breath. It's just my lats and triceps just started to get really tight towards the middle, later rounds of the workout. But overall, it was a lot of fun. Muscle ups weren't too bad, so I'm definitely happy the way this game has started out. So.
I'm sure you are. What did you think when you heard that this was going to be event number 1?
When I heard Dave Castro announce this, I was totally, you know, psyched. Because I swam in college, swam my entire life, and bar muscle-ups are my jam. So definitely couldn't write up a better workout than this for me. So.
And what was it like to be in this competition with some of the fittest people in the world?
Yeah, I still can't believe I'm standing here next to some of these guys. It's like a dream come true. Just standing next to, like, I consider these guys celebrities because I've seen all their videos, and just being able to shake their hands and just being in the same company as them is just amazing for me. So.
Well, the spotlight's on you right now, Jordan. Good job.
Thanks a lot.
All right, Sean, back to you.
Thanks, Amanda. Jordan Troyan sits atop the leaderboard after our first of 12 scored events. And there's a name that is missing from that.
There's got to be an error in there, right? We're missing a name.
Haven't seen this probably since Pendleton 1 and 2 last year.
You know what? Yeah, this was a swimmer event, and that's something that Rich obviously is going to be going back to his drawing board and putting that back in there, because you know what? He did the same thing with the rope. I'm sure he's going to do this with the swim.
So Jordan Troyan, your leader as we get set for events 2 and 3 later this afternoon. The row, 13.2 miles on a Concept 2 is up next for these men as they head to dry land. Be sure to tune in tonight to the update show at 9 p.m. Pacific time on games.crossfit.com for highlights and reaction to all 3 events taking place today. For Tanya Wagner and Bill Grundler, I'm Sean Woodland. We'll see you later.